Now, we have the United States already providing, Angela, over $450 million in security assistance to Ukraine. There is some risk if Russia invades. U.S. officials are prepared a range of options, including leveraged sanctions on exports to Russia. What is at stake? Is that enough to get to either side to move?
I don't think that even the sanctions that have been proposed, which would be pretty comprehensive, as you said, on technology exports, on Russia's entire industrial base, on the major Russian banks' access to the international financial system. Those have all been explicitly now talked about in the U.S. That doesn't seem to have deterred Russia at all. So I think we're in a situation now where possibly President Putin still hasn't decided what he's going to do. But if he decides that it is worth, and we have to say re-invading, since Russia has already invaded Ukraine starting in 2014, and maybe taking some more territory in the Donbas region, if he decides he wants to do that, I'm not sure that the prospect of those sanctions is going to deter him.
Now, we had a Biden as well as Putin meeting during the week of Christmas, and that's how things started off leading into the meetings that we had just in the last couple of hours. Was that the right strategy to get things going? Do you think that there's going to be another heads of state meeting that is needed to resolve this?
Well, I'm sure that the Russians would like another heads of state meeting. And President Biden did intimate, even in December, that it was possible that there would be an in-person meeting, a second one between them. They had one in June. So it may be, given the system in Russia, not very much is going to happen unless President Putin gives it his blessing, and certainly not on these issues. So you might see another in-person meeting, although at the moment there are no definite plans for it.
It's thought that Russia, in terms of its overarching desire, would like to re-establish a sort of a sphere of Russian influence in what used to be the Soviet Union. What do you think is the end game here?
I think Putin wants to relitigate the end of the Cold War. I think he wants to go back and say, you know, what happened in 1991 was unfair. We lost we lost 14 of our republics of the Soviet Union. So many millions of Russians were living outside Russia. And then the West thought it could just come in, the U.S., and sort of take over. He wants to relitigate it. He wants the United States and the major countries in Europe all to accept that Russia is a great power, that it has a right to a sphere of influence in what, for a better word, we're going to call the post-Soviet space, and that the countries that lie next to Russia do not have the right to choose which system they want to join, particularly in terms of foreign policy. He has on many occasions said there are only a few truly sovereign countries in the world. Those are Russia, China, the United States, and India, and basically every other country, and particularly small countries, only have limited sovereignty. And that's the principle that he believes in and that he would like to get the West and the rest of the world to accept.